Welcome to this interactive study breakdown on the ontological argument for God's existence. This is the most audacious proof ever attempted. It claims to derive God's reality from pure reason alone, without any observation of the world. First formulated by Anselm of Canterbury in 1078, later refined by Descartes and defended by Norman Malcolm. This a priori, deductive argument has fascinated philosophers for nearly 1,000 years. Mastering it is essential for AQA A-Level Religious Studies, where evaluation accounts for 60% of marks. In this video, we will dissect the argument's structure, key developments, and the most powerful objections. Let's map the core concepts. The argument is a priori, meaning it relies on reason alone, not empirical evidence. It is deductive. If the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. Key distinctions include existence in the mind versus in reality, and necessary versus contingent existence. Anselm defines God as that than which nothing greater can be conceived. Quoted in abbreviated TTWNGCBC. These terms are essential for high marks. Turning to our core study notes, Anselm's proslogion contains two formulations. In proslogion 2, he argues that even the atheist understands the concept of God as TTWNGCBC. So God exists in the mind. But a being that exists in reality is greater than one that exists only in the mind. Therefore, God must exist in reality. In proslogion 3, he adds that God cannot be conceived not to exist. Necessary existence is part of God's essence. This distinction is crucial for later defences. Let's trace the logical steps. Premise 1. God is defined as that than which nothing greater can be conceived. Premise 2. This concept exists in the mind. Premise 3. Existing in reality is greater than existing only in the mind. Conclusion. Therefore, God must exist in reality. This is a deductive argument. If you accept the premises, the conclusion follows. In proslogion 3, Anselm adds that necessary existence is greater than contingent existence, so God must exist necessarily. Let's work through a typical exam question. Kant's famous objection is that existence is not a real predicate. Saying God exists doesn't add a property to God, unlike God is omnipotent. Malcolm responds that Kant is right about contingent existence, but necessary existence is different. It means God cannot fail to exist. To evaluate, consider whether necessary existence is coherent. Does Malcolm's defense succeed, or is it a logical trick? Examiners reward precise use of these distinctions. Watch out for common pitfalls. First, don't confuse Anselm's two formulations. Proslogion 2 is about existence in reality, proslogion 3 about necessary existence. Second, use Latin terms like in intellectu and in re precisely. Examiners reward this. Third, when discussing Gournilo's perfect island, explain that it's a reductio ad absurdum. If Anselm's reasoning works, it would prove the existence of a perfect island, which is absurd. Finally, always distinguish necessary from contingent existence when evaluating Kant and Malcolm. To wrap up, remember the key thinkers and their contributions. Anselm's two formulations, Descartes' analytic approach, Gournilo's perfect island objection, Kant's predicate objection, and Malcolm's defense using necessary existence. For your exam, be ready to evaluate whether the ontological argument succeeds. Does it prove God's existence by reason alone, or does it commit a logical fallacy? Use precise terminology and engage critically with each philosopher. Good luck with your revision.